Welcome to the final leg of VCT Game Changers APAC. We have made it to Elite, ladies and gentlemen, and it is the final hurdle for these teams to be crowned Queens of APAC and the glory of representing our region at VCT Game Changers Champions. What's up, everybody? I'm Amika Fabs, and with me today is Colden. What's up, my man? I like your drip.
Oh, I like yours too, Mika.
Oh,
I think
what
is yeah. We really dressed up for the occasion, I guess. Yeah,
we have a theme. It's in case you guys didn't notice. He's representing Tokyo Masters, and this is from Lock-in Brazil. It's kind of like a kind of like compilation of like a best of moments. Wow, looking back at VCT, how about that?
Yeah, and I think the merch that you're wearing is kind of a nice fitting moment here for the event that we're gonna have, right? For Elite, the champion of this entire tournament gonna be heading over to Sao Paulo for GC Champions over there. So a lot on the line, and we're gonna get started, here today. And what an amazing series of matches that we're gonna have, right? Gonna have Team SMG versus NYX Kyosei up first, and then later on in the day we're gonna have Orangutan X versus MLT Esports. So a couple of bangers already lined up for you guys watching at home.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really, really exciting start for today. We were just talking about it earlier, about how, of course, you gotta begin this with Team SMG, right? And then you have a very interesting matchup with Orangutan X and MLT Esports. We'll get to talk about that a little bit later, but I just want to appreciate so far, like, the roadmap with Game Changers so far, right? It's been, 3 opens, a last chance qualifier, and we're finally here at the final step for our APAC teams, right? This is the final step to champions. As you mentioned, they are going back over here to Sao Paulo, Brazil, where it all began at the very beginning of 2023. It's remarkable here because I feel like the teams that we have right now, Colden, are so representative of the Game Changers year thus far, right? You have the veterans who have been here since like Open 1 that we had all the way in March of this year, right? And then you have the veterans, you have like teams that scrambled together for the LCQ, which just happened like a few months ago, and you even have players from way back when making a comeback just for this chance at Elite.
Yeah, and speaking about all these open circuits that we've had so far, I think it's kind of it gives you a bit of like surrealness, right? When you realize that all of these events have been won by SMG, right? The team that we're going to be watching, in just a few moments, and coming up against them, a team that they themselves qualified through that LCQ stage. And it's going to be an interesting matchup that we're going to have here today. But as you mentioned, right, incredible circuit, incredible year that we've had so far. And I'm really curious to see how this entire Elite will pan out. And yeah, speaking about Elite, let's take a look at all of our qualified teams. We've got NYX Kyosei, MLT Esports, Global Esports, Phoenix, Scythe NWJ, RRQ Kaguya, Full Send Sapphire, Team SMG, and of course Orangutan X.
I just want to check if we're on the same page here, Colden. I think everybody's on the same page, right? So far, Team SMG is looking like the favorite to win this. It's kind of like,
yeah,
I kind of feel like, okay, the throne is kind of like ready to be gifted to them. It's just a matter of who can stop them at that very last moment, which is here at Elite, right?
Yeah, I think right. You gotta be living under a rock if you don't have SMG kind of like at that forefront, at the team that's really up and coming. The team that hasn't lost a series in the entire year. It's mind-boggling to have that kind of statistics. And I think with APAC having only one representative go into champions later on after this tournament, it's going to be a long hill to climb. But as you can see on the screens right here, right, the prize pool that we have for all of these teams, USD 35,000, first place 12,000 as well. So an incredible prize pool for all of our players and teams, and of course that coveted spot in champions as well.
That is correct. We got to do something about that, by the way. That's like a singular slot that APAC has.
Yeah.
All right, what's with that? Come on, guys. I think that right now Team SMG, as you mentioned, have not lost yet this year. I mean, they can bring that kind of power, they can bring that kind of energy, into, champions, hey, I'm all for it. Before that, though, of course, they have 7 teams trying to stop them from taking that spot. Right now, we can see our bracket, and all of our matches will be a best of 3 with our grand finals as a best of 5. And you've got your one and only stream right here on twitch.tv/FSL. Shout out to Raf, by the way, who was so used to our second stream that he decided to drop in and say hi at the very beginning. You will see the rest of the squad as well on the rest of the days, and we are all here to see who will be crowned our champion for Elite. It's going to be really exciting. As you can see, all of these matches, you know what these teams are capable of. You've seen them for this entire circuit. And right now, the best of the best, the very best, are here to clash at Elite. So I'm so excited. I cannot wait to get into it, by the way, because our first match, as you can see right up there, is going to be a banger.
Yeah, and speaking about this tournament format, right? As you mentioned, it's going to be a best of 3 all the way throughout, and it kind of gets a little bit interesting, right? When you realize that the map pool for GC Elite is gonna be
that's right.
The new updated one where Fracture and Pull is now out of the map pool. We bring in good old Breeze as well as the new map of Sunset, and I think that's gonna shake up this tournament even more than it already could have been, right? New maps, new strategies, curveballs left, right, center, and with such a dominant team such as SMG, I can only imagine like what other teams are trying to cook up on those maps to try to take down the top dog right now.
Yeah, speaking of sunset, one of my tabs is still open on that beautiful sunset that Zach sent us. Oh, by the way, thank you for that, Zach. And I think that, that map was going to be really, really interesting, especially as we saw throughout the year. We saw a lot of teams do exceptionally well on Fracture and on Pearl. And now that those maps are out of the rotation, what are they going to bring out, especially on Breeze? It would be so great to see these teams once again on Breeze and on Sunset. I do believe that this is a map that, of course, came out of the latter part of the VCT circuit, so not a lot of teams have played this professionally, and we're gonna see it here. So really exciting. You know how that map has like a lot of like great corners and great little areas to set up and make a lot of shenanigans here. So I wonder what these teams have had planned for that.
Yeah. Of course, I think personally, I would love to see Sunset. I would love to see Breeze, but I think we had a little conversation, before the stream started, right? That those maps, right, that Breeze and Sunset is gonna be more of those curveball picks, right, where the underdogs would try, to bring out that map maybe later on in the tournament, right, as kind of like a surprise pick. So early on, I think now in the opening matches, we might not be able to see Breeze or Sunset, but I think that just leaves a lot of room to the remaining maps, right? Because a lot of teams are going to expect the remaining maps in the map pool, right? Which is Split, your Bind, Haven, Ascent, those El Clasico maps. And, looking at the first match of the day, SMG versus NYX Kyosei, it's going to be an interesting battle because you have one team where they have near 100% win rate on every single map. And then you have NYX Kyosei coming out from the LCQ as the second spot. So not even the first team out of LCQ. And it feels like an impossible task, but hey, if any team's gonna do it, it might just be the Doggo.
Well, let's find out. Let's see if the Doggo can pull all their powers out for this behemoth of a team, which is Team SMG. Let's take a closer look at our teams through this video. I mean, Colden, you look at this match, and you can't help but feel that NYX Kyosei drew the short straw. I mean, I have to say it, right? It's like, you look at these players, Alexi, Aneri, Camus, Kohaibi, and Shirazi. They are not only veterans in the scene now, but when you think of the best Game Changers players in APAC, all these ladies would make your top 10 list, So there is also just this there's this wonderful sassy confidence that just screams champions in these ladies. It's the same kind of vibe actually that teams like G2 Gozen have. So right now, the championship is pretty much theirs. They just really have to make it official through this elite, right? These 7 teams are all coming at Team SMG at the moment. But as you mentioned, the last time that they lost was over a year ago. October 2nd, by the way, against Zolmeraki. That was a very different Team SMG. That was without the core of this roster. So, Colden, you said it. They've been unstoppable, but who are they up against? They're up against NYX Kyosei right now. So, let's take a closer look at the roster that would be up against Team SMG.
Yeah, let's take a moment to appreciate this roster, right? Coming in from the LCQ, not even the first seed, the second seed, so arguably, the lowest seed in the tournament, right? Going up against the top seed, you got Delbisky, somebody, Khan, Piety, as well as Kachao. All amazing players in their own right, but a lot to prove here in the league, and I can't wait to see what they have up against the top dogs of APAC. My eyes on Delbisky as well as Piety. I think those two are one of, or at least the duo in this squad that really set their team up for success. They have great play potential and very, very highly mechanically skilled, in my opinion. So, got to keep out on those two ladies. But again, right, this is a team that I would say not a lot of people give them enough credit, right? They've done the gauntlet. They've ran through the LCQ bracket, from the lower bracket as well, and made their way into elite. So, regardless of the outcome here today, I think massive props have got to be given to them for making the distance this far. It's a huge accomplishment just being in an elite itself. So, extremely proud. But today up against the Giants, I'm curious to see what they have brought to the table.
I mean, we're kind of speaking like it's already written, right? But it's, of course, it's Team SMG. And let's not forget that NYX Kyosei here, they clawed their way here through the last chance qualifier, right? Through a very, very close lower finals up against Neons. And compared to Team SMG, this team is a relatively new team, right? They only came together for Open 2. Not to mention, for some of the NYX players like Delbisky, Shuni, and Piety, I believe it is their first time ever playing an elite. So literally, for these ladies, the stakes have never been higher for them. The maps are going to be really interesting as well. As we mentioned, there is a possibility that we might see Sunset. I have a feeling, as I was mentioning earlier, Cole, that if we don't see it today or like in the first 2 days, we won't see it at all. But we are going to see it!
Gosh,
Oh,
no way!
yes!
Wait
Yes!
a minute. First map of Elite, we get the new map.
Why not?
I'm
Let's go!
I'm sure our casters are already I don't know, up in arms maybe. I can't hear them, but I mean myself, I'm so excited to see Sunset as the first pick, and it's picked by NYX, right? I'm not seeing this incorrectly.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
that's incredibly brave. That is incredibly brave, especially since like SMG, they do play well on Sunset's similar map like Ascent, right? So this is really, really brave. This is gonna be very, very intense. And look at that, SMG also picked Ascent, and we are going to go into Haven as our decider. NYX Kyosei, I hope you guys have a really good strategy for this. This looks very scary. We know that Haven is one of the best maps of Team SMG here. It's a map also that NYX Kyosei do favor. Pinoy maps maybe. But I feel like I don't really know what NYX Kyosei can pull out here that already isn't favoring Team SMG. It feels like it's impossible, but that's just how it is. So Sunset here might be that wild card for them.
In my opinion, it has to be a 2-0 win for Kyosei to take this series.
Yep.
Like, if it goes to Haven, I mean, Haven is one of the key picks from SMG. As we love going to Haven, is one of the picks that they often choose, early on in Open 3 and, early on before that Open 2, etc., etc. But yeah, that Sunset pick, I guess NYX is, just throwing everything in the kitchen sink at SMG right now. They want to take this win. They want to, at the very least, expose some strats of SMG, right? Because in my opinion, if I was SMG, right, I would want to keep my Breeze as well as Sunset to the later parts of the tournament, right, where teams don't really have information on my picks. I can pull it out as like that wild card as well as SMG. But now we're kind of forcing the hand, right? We're forcing SMG to be like, hey, I want to see your composition. I want to see what you have prepared for this map. So when it goes later on in the tournament, other teams may even have a chance to take down SMG. So I don't know, maybe NYX Kyosei taking one for the team or for literally everyone else in the tournament, I guess. I'm just extremely stoked to see Sunset.
Yeah, I like the way you put it, right? It was like NYX Kyosei was like, we basically want to take Team SMG down. We're going to push them back out of their comfort zone already, or we're going to force them to reveal all of their cards so that everybody else knows what's coming for them, so that suddenly there are no secrets. And it could be like, this could be a very strategic move in the sense of like the entire elite, right? Suddenly it's like there are no more secrets for Team SMG to pull out as they move forward in elite. Very exciting stuff indeed. I have to say as well, one of the head-to-heads that I'm looking at is going to be Khan versus Alexi. That's going to be incredibly intense. Khan, I think, has one of the best Sova performances throughout the season, if not the best. She's also amazing on Sky, but her Sova was just so memorable, right? She will be going up against Alexi in this match, and we all know how aggressive Alexi can be, especially when you have her setting up Eneri. Hello, Eneri, who is widely touted as, possibly the best Game Changers player here on APAC, right? We have this girl turning heads left and right all across so many regions. So this combination is so frightening. This is going to push Khan to her limit, and as well as the Rex of NYX Kyosei. I want to see what comes out of it, especially since their map pick is first, the map that we least expected to be the first map here, Golden. This is so fun.
This is really exciting, and I like how you put up that head-to-head, right, between the initiators, like the support players, but I want to focus a little bit more on NYX Kyosei, because I think Piety as the control player is very pivotal in their success. I went through the stats, and it was just amazing to see how impactful Piety was. In LCQ, she was the highest rated player for NYX, with a 1.15 rating and 228 ACS as your control player. And specifically on Omen, she does her best work with a 1.36 rating and 253 ACS on that particular agent. And I think on a map such as Sunset, right, Omen is actually a very viable pick. A lot of his smokes can actually cover most of the choke points. There are creative one-ways that you can do with Omen on Sunset, although not as many as maps such as Split. But I think Omen is a very viable pick, and if Piety can get that comfortable agent in her back pocket, if she can get her gears moving, I think NYX actually stand a decent chance to put up a good fight on Sunset.
Yeah, it's gonna boil down to what kind of strategy they have planned for this, especially since this is going to be a very memorable first map indeed for them. And I think that for Team SMG though, they've showed throughout the entire Game Changers circuit that they can be very flexible when it comes to their composition, right? They even have gotten too creative at times, but it's also, what kind of compositions are we going to see here on Sunset? I am expecting, we are still deep into the Killjoy meta. We are, so
Yes.
I'm expecting a Brimstone. Are we going to see the Chamber make a comeback? Maybe very slowly. It's possible. We do have a lot of very good Chamber players here at Game Changers that do miss the agent quite dearly. So if he does make a comeback here, I think it's a very viable map.
I'm quite curious to see if teams would want to do a double controller setup. I would love to see double controllers. Me personally, I love double controllers, but we can see the agent select right now. Okay, they're cooking. Double controller, I see on NYX Kyosei. And Neon being picked by Eneri. That is not a common pick.
I love that. This is so confident.
This is really cool. Double initiator as well as the Neon to set her up through those fast lanes. It's an interesting pick. I don't see a lot of Neons, but I can imagine one area, right? B main, where there's this sort of large middle area, right? You can use the Neon with the fast lane to get access to the back of the site quite easily. So incredibly excited to see what we have in store.
So excited indeed, so let's get right into it. Sunset, our first map of Game Changers Elite. So let's toss it on over to our casters, Taylor and Zach. Take it away.
It is gonna be a wild ride here. Not Raph for today, but Taylor and Zach to take you to Sunset. And Zach, I guess you're dressed for the occasion itself. We're going to LA.
Yeah, we're rocking that. We're all rocking that. We're all rocking that VCT merch here, and yes, I have managed to deal with that, and we're all rocking that VCT merch. But I think that yours as well, Eliza. We're both like prepped for champions, ready for LA, and ready to get into the Sunset map here. And looking at these agent compositions, right? I think that one thing that I'm really excited about is Aries Neon pick, because like Mika mentioned, it's not something that you see too often. It's usually the Jet that's kind of heavily favored on this map. But when you look at how many of these close range angles there are, and how Neon can just like stun her way through and zoom across the map, I think that Aries, she's gonna be playing this to perfection.
Well, to be fair, fairly new for everyone here in the professional scene as well. We haven't seen Sunset in a lot of pro plays even. And the thing is, we might be even seeing a new meta being made here live on Game Changers itself. And as we can see on your screens as well, we have the players and Princess Alexi getting ready for that. Yesterday, I think the preparation they did was eat outside.
Yeah, you gotta get the nutrition in, to like get ready to slay out. So yesterday SMG, they were just stocking up on those calories to burn in the game, because it's a really intense game, especially when you tend to play as SMG does. And I feel like they jump around more after the game than they panic during the game itself, because of how these games tend to play out.
Let's see though. Let's see how that turns out for today, as we are looking into map number 1, which is actually picked by NYX as we start on the pistol round itself. They are on the attacker side here, already set up on those flanks as well. But look at this, very aggressive push coming in from an Aries.
Oh my god, she gets that first kill, does put down the stun to try and get away, and succeeds. It's a 1-for-1 trade though, as Alexi does go down in the process, so not entirely bad for NYX Kyosei. That said, though, it seems to have completely broken the pace of their attack apart, especially with these smokes coming down towards mid. This confrontation, it might mean everything here, and Piety on the lurk takes down Gohaibi, so that's the Killjoy utility down, and the B side looking a little bit more free. A second one as well for Piety. Insane!
Really big picks coming in here, especially no more traps around as well. And I think the decision coming here from NYX is to rotate all the way to B side. They know there's not going to be any traps at all, and at the same time, they're quite sure Inari is still on A side, as they were able to deal with that a while ago. This is going to be the plan coming in all the way in B, and the rotations coming from the 2 players of SMG as well.
Yeah, they're gonna have to try to take these fights as favorably as possible. Early information garnered from that camera here. Kachao, that first point of contact. The flash and swing through does come out, buying a little bit of space with Piety. Watching the cross, finds not one, but both players. A 4K for the Cypher. And NYX, they take that pistol in style.
An immediate 4 kills coming in from Piety here. Really big on the kills itself, but not only that, that 1-to-1 trade from the start as well really fixed up upon that what do you call this, like contribution towards the team. Not only that, the big pick towards Gohaibi as well that just eliminated all those traps, and really made or paved the way for NYX to be more comfortable in rotating all the way to B side. Now on this next round though, it's gonna be a buy coming in from NYX, 1 upgraded towards that Bulldog as well, and this knife will cancel out some of the players from them.
Early information thanks to the 0 points here. That said, though, still touching upon that last round, it feels like NYX, they really do have an excellent grasp of how to play for control on this map. I think that we were talking a little bit about Piety's lurk and how much impact it was able to have, and it's clear that once again it's gonna be the case here. Piety is that final boss to watch out for, at least on this map. The way that she's just lurking around and finding all of these crucial kills. Once again, those 2 openers, it's gonna let them rotate over to this B site along with the Neural Theft, and there's only going to be Shirazi kind of hanging around here to try and stop it.
That's gonna be the complete control towards A site right now. Although this wall gonna be still there in a while, but gonna be dissipating, and that's gonna be Piety again with the 4 kill. 2 rounds in a row here, Zach. 8 kills in total, and immediately having that ult just gave them again the confidence to push forward all the way to A.
Look, I know the Cypher ult is only 6 points, but she already has half of it back. What even is happening here? Like, second round neural theft. I think that that's exactly what you want to see coming out of your Cypher player. Of it falls round for NYX Kyosei, and they're gonna have quite a bit of a bonus to play off of, especially that Phantom from Dilbitsky. If it can open up with those entries that we've been seeing Piety get so far, it might be a couple of upgrades that NYX can pick up and try to convert this bonus.
You know, to be fair, when we see this bracket as well, and all we know, they're going up against a giant here, why not surprise them with a pick immediately towards Sunset? And they might have prepared for this all throughout as well. And we are looking at NYX setting up yet again, trying to get info on the team members or anyone pushing forward. And as you can see, there's certain adjustments coming in from SMG as well. Inari just holding down the fort towards A, and moreover, it's going to be a triple stack on B.
A lot to get through. You can see that NYX, they've kind of slowed things down here, at least on their attacking side. They look to go for that B side, but like you mentioned, there's a triple stack along with some Killjoy utility there. Heidi still on the lurk, trying to hold down this mid area, but NYX themselves, they're executing quickly onto this B side. The problem is there are so many different lanes to try and contend with, and this confrontation between Delbitsky as well as Kohaibi, if it does come through, it might mean a lot. Camille spots a player through the gap in the wall, but not able to convert that kill. Kohaibi, though, waiting in the corner, takes out Capricious. First blood in favor of SMG here. Delbitsky finds a crucial trade, though, and now that dog is gonna find all the information. That said, the kill is still going for these crucial trades. It's just up to Khan now. 30 HP, finds the first into 1v3, but the stun is impeccable from Inari, and that will be the defuse to come in for SMG to find their first.
You see, there's no info at all that was given away here coming in from SMG. Even the pop flash coming in from Alexi all the way to market as well was being kept tight for the team itself for that retake. They were able to use up the dog to get and try to get that info successfully too. And for NYX, they're just trying to tuck themselves into the corners of the site, just making sure to hold on to the tight corners where the players of SMG might go out from, and they weren't that sure where the rest of the team would be. This is going to be a 2-1 coming in from NYX still. That 1 point advantage so far, and we might be seeing actually a timeout as the timer isn't moving at all.
Whether it's a tech or an actual pause, let's figure that out in a little bit once we get some more information. But talking about that post plan that you saw coming out of NYX, I feel like despite that being their bonus, they did a great amount of damage, because if you look at SMG's economy right now, it's in a pretty weird spot. Shirazi only are able to afford that Spectre, a Guardian onto Camus as well. So if NYX can convert this full buy that they have, especially with the ults that they're kind of charging up, in particular that Reckoning, only 2 points away, I think that it's going to be huge for them. Like you mentioned, like our panel did mention, they have to kind of win this map because they really don't want it to go to that map 3 of Haven where SMG have been so dominant. I think that if they can close it out 2-0, this is their chance, and for that they have to win this one. And they've looked pretty great so far. I think the only change that I would probably consider is taking a little bit more control on that site, like we saw in that bonus round, because they took no space after getting that plant down, and they couldn't go back either because of how quick SMG were on that retake.
Yeah, quick, like you were saying as well, because we also do have that Neon pick coming in from Inari. You saw how fast the rotation was coming in from her, and was able to help up the teammates as well in trying to make that retake happen. So with the Neon pick, especially with the help of Alexi as well, trying to cover her and also flashing and dogging for the rest of the team as well, it can be a lot for NYX to take over. And like you said, they should have more control here on the sites itself when it comes to the post plant positions. But we're bound to see that, as obviously we're looking into a full bias coming in from the rest of the team. But as you said, Team SMG, little bits or a crack here and there when it comes to that economy from that bonus round from NYX. So we might be seeing some Bulldogs here, some Guardians as well. But we're finally back as we head on to this next round. And, it's still a little bit of an unfamiliar territory for everyone as well. You can definitely see they're still like, not yet sure if I should push this or not.
Yeah, it feels just like my rank games, except that, Inari can aim better than literally every single player that I've had in my lobby, because that's just Inari things. But me and my rank games, distractions apart, again, you see so many of these rounds, it comes down to how much value the move from Heidi really has. Alexi pushes greatly forward along with Inari, but the numbers, these trades, they go in favor of NYX here. Huge confrontation, and with both Alexi and Inari taken out of the equation, they look to extend their push towards this A side, where there's only Kamyu kind of hanging around towards CT. The side itself, it's looking quite relatively free, and Piety only 2 off of another neural theft. Zolbitsky with that showstopper that we were talking about as well. So many ultimates that are kind of like just getting ready for NYX to invest in this round.
Just a little change on that tripwire made Inari and Alexi wonder, like, what's happening here? Why is it too deep?
You can see Alexi staring at it, bro.
Yeah, you can see, definitely, because Inari has been seeing the entire time, those 3 rounds, that tripwire is on that default spot when it comes to those flanks, or anti-flanks rather, for NYX. And they were wondering, where is
30
it?
seconds
But
left.
now, with Kohaibi taking 1 down, this is a 3-3 or a 3 versus 3 still, but NYX was able to take control of A side
Spike
completely and
planted.
plants the spike.
That's a really nice microplay. If you notice, they dropped the spike to Delbisky so that she would be able to get that showstopper online pretty quickly. That's going to be a major ult that might make a difference in this round if it comes down to the post plan. Still though, Delbisky playing that first point of contact, gets spotted out by Kamyu. Really nice fragment to clear out that corner, which is going to force Capricious to kind of just put down that paranoia. But that will give her position away, especially since it didn't connect. Kohaibi, on the other hand, able to find a kill onto Piety as well. Capricious in the corner, stunned, caught, taken down, and the showstopper finds nothing here. A 1v2 situation. Kohaibi taps the spike, trying to smoke out the position. The clock is ticking, but still, Shirazi, think they have enough time for the defuse to come through? Yeah, it's gonna be enough. They know their timings. So close, but they do it. No, they don't. Never mind. I'm wrong.
It's
All
not
right.
gonna be enough for SMG.
I swear. I thought they had it.
It was a 2-man push towards elbow here, Zach, and I guess they were trying to pre-fire as well. Delbisky basically holding down everything for the rest of the team. And this entire time, Capricious accepting every single utility you could ever take at that point in the default spot as well. And she wasn't able to do anything at that point, but in the end, the timing was definitely on the side still of NYX here. Really good rounds coming in so far, and we can look at the eco disadvantage right now for SMG. Kamyu is the only one with that Vandal, but it doesn't matter. And Eri has the ult right now. It's not gonna connect for that one, but she already managed to pick up 2 kills.
Neural Theft comes in from Heidi, so they're gonna be able to smoke out the remainder of this SMG defense. That said, though, like you mentioned, Inari, she did the damage there. 2 huge kills, tags of Delbisky a decent amount as well, thanks to that overdrive on the Neon ult. You can see NYX, they're kind of slowing things down, changing the pace up. They know for a fact that SMG, they're on a bit of an eco round, but in the hands of these players in particular, I think these sheriffs can do a devastating amount of damage. And SMG's positions across the map, they're picture perfect. Kohaibi has a turret for some information if they decide to cross over, but yeah, that's gonna be the cue, and Kohaibi knows that it's likely to be this site that they're coming to.
I hear a cam has been set up as well. The smoke, the only thing covering Kohaibi right now. They heard a gunshot though. They know there's someone on side. They know that. And Shirazi, though, from behind, was able to pick up 2 kills. On to the left, though, it's going to be Delbisky securing that trade. 2v1 situation. It's all up to Delbisky yet again in this post plant. 36 HP remaining on her. Alexi, this is going to be the double trouble setup coming in from them. The tap on the spike to lure out the enemy. And that's going to be it for that round. I think this is basically a semi-thrifty for them, right?
It was a thrifty. I'm pretty sure they all had nothing
Kamyu
with
had
sheriffs to
the
start off
Vandal,
with.
yeah.
Didn't she pick it up in the middle, or was it a hero?
I think it was a hero, actually. And at that point, the first 2 initial kill from Inari built that round up.
That was insane. But again, like just what we talked about when we mentioned that Neon pick, right? You could see how those stuns really set up Inari to find those openers round after round. The thing is, though, they've been kind of doing the same play towards this A site, that aggressive push right off the bat. And I think because of it, NYX, they've been working more towards this mid to A kind of control. So it's interesting to see how SMG, if they've made that read yet and if they're going to be adapting to it pretty soon. Looking at the positions they're holding, though, it's a bit more of a passive hold towards this A site.
A little bit more passive this time around. It's actually a cross being held down by Inari and Alexi. Kohibi, same as before as well. It's gonna be this market take. The traps, obviously thrown off by that paint shells as well. She has to wait a little bit longer to set that up yet again. But this is gonna be an eco round for NYX. They have to find or make a pickoff happen and make it a 5v4 to say the least, but it's gonna be difficult. That stun's coming in, the aggressiveness again coming in from SMG as well, especially from these two players.
They've been doing a great job of just maintaining this A lobby control here. Now though, as they look to go into this B side, despite the eco round, they're not afraid to invest these ultimates. That said though, Kohibi and Shirazi, they're just maintaining this crossfire and just shredding people apart as they look to come in. On the opposite side, Neri smokes out Heidi's position. Seekers to boot. Heidi though still gets that first kill. Has to go in for the reload, tries to get the knife, but it's just gonna come down to a gunslinger's duel here. Where else do we have it apart from the Wild West? Sheriff in Alexi's hand. She's not even gonna try to reload here, and it's just Khan being hunted down. Let's you to find that final kill, and SMG, they tie things up 3-3.
They clean up the round itself. It's now a 3-3. A very slow-paced game that we're looking at here from the two teams that we have right now. Even on the economy itself, it's about just getting rounds and then another team gets the other round and we have a reset yet again. But this time around, I think for NYX, they do have that half armor shields up and a guardian for themselves. For the meantime, this is so far a talking stage between these two teams.
Yeah, I think both of them, I think for NYX as well, they've taken us pleasantly by surprise because, let's face it, they were the underdog in this particular fight, but they've looked very much in control over the map here. Again, Heidi on the lurk, able to find huge kills, but Kohibi, despite the flash, holds strong towards this main area. 2 kills in her name to boot. And while NYX have taken the site, they're surrounded on all sides by enemies here. Lockdown gonna come in from Kohibi. She's had it ready for the retake, and that's gonna push the remainder of this NYX squad off the site, force a TP and fall back here. It's just gonna be Heidi trying to make a play, but Kohibi more than ready for that possibility. 2v3 situation. Spike not exactly planned for them. They're gonna have to come back in through the cove, but Kohibi lying in wait on track with Ace, finds it, and that will be SMG to take.
Kohibi with an ace here. Already starting off, if you think about it, she had that Omen flash right onto her face. She already accepted that there was going to be a nade being thrown off all the way here on Market. But she basically held down the fort for the entire team, even using up that ult as well to really push out the players here from NYX to go all the way to B main, despite having that cove as well. The aggressiveness of this Killjoy, you just have to give it to her.
It's not the Killjoy, man. It's Kohibi. I don't know if you remember, there was
Sentinel
an
is just a mindset, guys.
20...
Forget about it.
Yeah, Sentinel equals push in Kohibi's hands. But talking about pushing now, it's Neri who's just walking a little bit up towards mid, all the way almost into that attacker spawn here. We'll be finally falling back, though. A little bit of temperance coming in from that player. That said, though, it's the Seekers to start things off for NYX Kyosei. A 5-person push right onto this east side. And already SMG, you can see that they're ready to just opt to play in for that full retake because they know they have that Cosmic Divide as well as a lot of utility left. And they have control of all of these lanes.
They do, but they also have to take control of other parts of the sites here. Very open. It's going to be CT for Shirazi. It's going to be a double yet again, and the pull settles in, but then again, an area Shirazi taking control over this post plant coming in from NYX, and that's going to be the cleanup crew just dashing or going in through the site just to make everyone else look around. And SMG 5-3, they're just back to their fundamentals here. The trades definitely there, and the pushes coming in from those initiating or initiators.
Yeah, I mean, the way the Neon is played on this map, it does feel like it's Initiator Duelist mix, but I think that the biggest thing that works out for Inari is how aggressive she is, and because of how much control she takes so early on, it really makes those quick flanks possible like we saw in this round, right? You could see that NYX, despite the pressure coming in from both openings onto site, they were not ready for that flank from Inari, and she just came in and blitzkrieg through the rest of the squad. Sure, she went down, but the damage was more than done here, and again, you're gonna be seeing the same thing this time around towards the mid as well as this alley area. She's taking the fights, but Delbisky's still able to find that first opener. Now towards mid, it's absolute practice here. Nick still maintaining the numbers advantage at SMG. They all fall except for Gohaibi.
More rounds we look at, the rounds goes faster as well, especially when Inari just wants to catch up with Mika on her marathon as well. Gohaibi, the only man remaining, or the only woman remaining here for the round itself. Can she make something happen after that ace? It might be a boost in the confidence, you just never know. But yet again, you have a Cypher still alive, could set up the traps, even a camera would already be big to try and cancel out Ohaibi here. Turret has been set. This might give at least an intel towards the side of SMG, or rather NYX, but yet again, she has to tap the spike before they even peek.
It's an open plant as well. Just be really careful about these angles. The first fight, it comes up against Khan, and Khan more than ready for the swing and that kill. Will NYX find another round? But let's talk about those first 10 seconds where literally everybody died, right? From the SMG side. I think that they were not expecting NYX to just be lying in wait. You could see a little bit of that defaulting coming out. And when those fights came head to head towards mid, just the positioning being held, there was nobody to immediately trade out Inari. And NYX were able to quickly capitalize, and they were so aware of all three of those lanes that they had to keep watch of. So there was just no chance for SMG to really find an advantage, especially with Alexi doing that second kill, I believe.
Yeah, but then again, Princess Alexi would just never let down let Inari down. That showstopper connects completely towards Gohaibi, but she was able to pick up one kill beforehand. Capricious, on the other hand, though, was able to pick up Camille. At that point, 4v3 situation. Smoke dissipates towards mid. This lurk might be big for the side of NYX. They just have to set it up nicely.
Spike finally gonna go down 4v3 like you mentioned. This Heidi's position, it's gonna mean a lot here. Does spot out Shirazi right as she goes into that cosmic form here. Europe's gonna come out as well to smoke out the remaining positions of these players. Paranoia doesn't connect, but pushing an area off the angle, it will let Delbisky find that kill, and it's all down to just Princess Lexi. A 1v3 situation. Does have a flash, both their flashes to work with, but she has to win out this fight against Heidi first. It's not gonna happen. Heidi's so incredible throughout this entire attacking half of NYX. She's been that pivot position to just find those frags and let those hero steps rip. I think that was number 4.
Like I said, it was a really good lurk. No one really was looking towards mid, especially when they knew that A site was already taking cover or taking control by NYX here. And on the other hand, because of those lurks and those kills and even the trades happening left and right, again, NYX securing that post-plant position. What's important for them is to really take positions into their own hands. We see the difficulty when it comes to B side because they don't have CT control all this time. And when it comes to A, it seems like a little bit more comfort towards them.
Yeah, I think that for SMG's defense, it's been very hit or miss with the kind of pushes, but you can see that they've increased the number of players as well. Last time around, there was a reckoning for NYX to power their way through those choke points, but this time around, it's just Delbisky being isolated thanks to her satcheling in solo and a free kill for that SMG squadron. Now NYX, they break the utility, Heidi's position, of course, with that cyber cage gonna be spotted out, and Gohaibi can spot the cross here, deny that additional bit of crossover onto space. It might be huge. Spike itself, though, it's made its way onto this B site, and it should be going down.
Look at this group meeting that's happening towards CT side. 4 players just waiting for that wall coming in from the harbor to go down, and this would be a re-hit, or rather a retake coming in from them. But on the other hand, Market is also being covered here, and yet again that flash settles in, and Ari, Alexi, and the rest of the crew here to clean up the rest of the team of NYX. Con too far away from the spike as well, no matter or however she wants to make some noise on CT side. It doesn't matter at this point. The spike's not on her eyesight. That's going to be a 6-5 coming in here from SMG. To be fair, though, if you think about it, Zach, it's not too bad for a first half here coming in from NYX.
I definitely think so, and they've been really good at pushing these attacks. The thing is that SMG, they've also been incredible to adapt in the way they play. If you look towards how they're pinching in on that A side, they have a 3-person stack now. In the first couple of rounds, it was only a Neri and Alexi, but now Camille's joined over as well. There's a turret watching mid, and it seems like the side of SMG, they're just playing for a retake on this B side because they have their protocols so in place. Early cam, though, to spot out the position of Shirazi at the very least will force her to play a little bit back, and she still has that Cosmic Divide ready to go for the retake.
You want to get that early info again. Ivy,
Oh, no.
this wall, a menace towards the side of NYX here, despite being actually set up by them. The ultimate being put up as well for this retake. Is it going to be destroyed instead? I think it will force out the players of NYX instead to go back. It's going to be B-main for them. One caught. But yet again, the spike not yet planted. They still have a lot of space and a lot of time to maybe make a rotate or a re-hit happen.
Problem is the numbers, so it's 3v5, and you can see SMG, they're still happy to kind of duke these fights out in the hopes of equal trades here. Huge lockdown from Kohibi to be able to deny just that side control from really enabling NYX to get that spike down. Now with 35 seconds left, they have to make a commit on one side of the map or the other. You can see Piety on a fishing expedition on the other side, hoping to at least get that control for free. And the A side itself, it's pretty empty except for Alexi kind of just hanging around spawn to make sure that Piety doesn't walk all the way in. I think that they might at least be able to get that spike down, but so far NYX in the post plants is where they have suffered the most, especially when they're at these numerical disadvantages. They just don't really have much of a chance to take space there. And I think that if they can find at least Alexi in this position, it might be what they need.
This wall doesn't cover CT, but the Cove is up definitely for their side. And SMG already mapped this out as well. They want to do and make a retake happen. That's why Alexi is the only woman basically waiting patiently on that corner just to hear those sounds. But yet again, SMG, they knew what they were doing at this point. They knew they were going to play the retake. It was a lot of setup coming in on B side and waiting for that re-hit to happen. But yet again, 7-5.
Yeah, halftime break now, so let's throw it over to our panelists to see what exactly went down in the first ever Sunset that we're going to be seeing on stream. Mika and Colton, over to you.
Just look at who is topping our leaderboards right now. We have Kohibi and Piety. It is a Sentinel show match here on Sunset, and we can see exactly why, right? Both of these players are playing so well. I mean, Kohibi's tenure is definitely showing because you can see how she's more than enough to hold the side, right? As Zach mentioned, it's like sometimes when Team SMG doesn't have the numbers advantage, it's no problem for them because they have a player like Kohibi. The way she's able to sort of maneuver her way into the most optimal position to kill everyone is just genius here, Colton.
Yeah, I like that you brought up like the adaptation that SMG brought into this half, but regardless, it's still an amazing half coming in from NYX Kyosei. I mean, I don't think we've seen SMG feel so uncomfortable on the map for a very long time. And shout out to Piety, as you mentioned, right? That lurker as that Cypher. I mentioned that she was one of the key factors for them to win, and right now she's putting up the numbers, but they've got to put up an even stronger fight when they swap sides to that defense.
And speaking of which, we are about to do just that. Let's see indeed how NYX Kyosei perform as they switch on over to defense, and now it is going to be SMG on attack. Back to you guys, casters, over on Sunset.
Defense this time around, Zach, for the side of NYX. And so far, momentum-wise, it seems like Piety here has been great so far in this first half that we've seen.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the rounds that they were able to win, it was off the back of her lurks finding those crucial openers to start things off with, and just the mid control that she was able to exhibit. That said, though, we're going to be seeing Kohibi, who has in the past been incredible in those lurk situations as well. I think that for NYX to be able to close this one out, it's gonna depend on how much map control they can take early on, because you saw that kind of defaulting coming out of SMG throughout on the A side. It seems like next they're looking to at least do something a little bit similar towards mid and alley instead. So I think with the early information that NYX garners, if they do manage to get that into their regard, it's gonna be what they need. But that said, Delvisky versus Aneri right off the bat, it's gonna be Aneri to win it out. That Frenzy at close range, just shredding Delvisky into pieces.
I mean, look at this one-way Cypher smokes as well coming in from Piety. This might be the stop that they need for the players of SMG to not really push forward and maybe think about their next steps as well. It's still 5v4, but Delvisky being gone gives a little bit of space for SMG actually to make something happen, as no one watches over mid aside from obviously Capricious. Now she has to watch over to positioning here, and aside from that, no movement so far from SMG. As for now, they would try to hit the site and they're being caught by the trap. She doesn't care. That's gonna be the frenzy to your face. Con to go down, and again, this is the control that we were looking from the side of NYX a while ago.
Planted.
Oh, for a second I thought that Aneri was going to be able to find yet another kill, though Capricious finally shuts her down. Shirazi, though, playing spoil sport on site, a crossfire along with the turret, as well as Gohaibi. The remaining players on NYX's side, it's a 2v4. They're going to have to face a lot of opposition while getting in, and Gohaibi just playing off the turret to find that kill. Michelle at least able to find one before being shut down by Kamiyu. SMG, they take this pistol and extend their lead even further. I think that for SMG's side, it's just that Neon pick being able to find these timings, right? Like, Delvisky was just not ready for that fight. And, of course, the utility usage from SMG's side is just perfect. Even if Inari doesn't find the timings on those kills, it's just so much utility that's available for being dumped. The stuns from Shirazi, the flashes from Kamiyu, flashes from Alexi as well. It just sets Inari up so well on this map.
Definitely true, but look at this. Might be a rush A if not mistaken. Depends for the side of SMG, but this is gonna be a full stack, and it's only gonna be Kachao holding down the fort here on A side. Already left and right, there's so many utilities being thrown off. And Kachao with a classic might be able to get a shot in. No, not at all. Instead, Aneri shuts her down. And again, the beauty of Neon is that fast takes and even fast rotations.
Yeah, once again, an opener onto Kachao. For a second, I thought that right click, the free gun, by the way, would be able to get a couple of kills, but not going to be happening this time around. And looking at SMG's post plan, they've left nothing uncovered. You can already see the Killjoy utility watching for the flank as well to try and catch out the Cypher. On site, it's aggression to boot. Kamiyu and Gohaibi between themselves being able to find all of these crucial kills. It's just going to be the flank now from Piety, already detected by the alarm bot being broken for Gohaibi here. Camera does spot it out, and this entire SMG squad is on the hunt for Piety in the corner. What can she even do? Nothing is the answer as Alexi shuts her down with the Sheriff to the skull. 9-5, and SMG, that's a flawless for them, so they're gonna have an incredible bonus coming in.
Inari, the initiator, is being used as the bait here for the rest of the team just to force out one remaining player from NYX. But nevertheless, though, for SMG, I think this attacker side will be more of their comfort as well. They don't need to wait much anymore, and they can play around the map quite easily as well because of that aggression coming in from Inari and with the help of the teammates. But let's see, early info towards B main and even Paranoia just to force them out in taking control.
Does succeed that ploy, at least for a little bit, but it was just one player towards where that Paranoia was being put down, right? You can already see that SMG, they're very comfortable around this A site hit. This time around, that's going to be where Piety is playing, though, with the Cypher. So with the one waves that we've seen coming out of her before, it might be those kills that you really want to see from the NYX side early on. That said, though, on this A side, you can already see that the SMG squad, they've taken so much control for free. And while that tripwire does go off in that close range, with Alexi having walked up, Piety can't really win out that duel. Spike goes down, and Con in the corner, she might be the one to do the damage. First one thanks to the Phantom, looking for a little bit more, but Alexi with the upgrade already takes her down. The kills all go in favor of this SMG squad. Delvisky finally stopping the bleeding. 2v3 situation. There is an overgrowth available from Kachao to patch the teammate up, but for that they're gonna have to regroup. Not if they just walk into Shirazi's crosshair like that, and it's just down to Delbisky. 17 HP and a Dream. A 1v3 situation. You can see SMG getting closer and closer, and the call might be to try and save, but as Shirazi denies even that much. Double digits for SMG on their opponent's map.
Having this KO pick for the side of SMG as well doesn't help much for the side of NYX. We were able to see Con securing a kill here, but on the other hand, she couldn't set up any more smokes on her end because of that 0 point, and because of it, obviously, it just makes it a little bit harder or more difficult for the side of NYX to make that retake happen or take control and space. Now we're looking at a timeout, a much needed one, I would say, for NYX. And so far, it's going to be a pistol, or rather a save coming in from them. And I think for the meantime, what do you think they can do or a slight change that they can do to actually try and figure out how to go up against SMG, Zach?
I think that one thing that we saw SMG really excel at during their defensive side was the proactivity they took, right? Like round after round on that ace side, it was the aggression coming out of Alexi and Aneri. And while they didn't always get the kills, they went down early as well. They made sure to get that information that, okay, there are 3 players hanging around here, 4 players coming around here, and that let Kohaibi play a little bit more off her utility on that B side for the retake. So I think that proactivity is what's been missing from the NYX side throughout on their defense. They've been playing really far back in an attempt to go in for that retake, but you saw exactly what happens in the last round. Despite the Cypher utility on that A side, SMG, they walk almost all the way into their spawn and just find those crucial kills. So NYX, they need a little bit more early aggression, I think, to play off of, and that might be what can kind of change the game, because SMG, at least on attack, they seem to hold all the cards here.
Definitely true. I totally agree with your opinion as well. And again, SMG, that's their strength. Really taking up space, especially with this kind of pick that they have from the agents as well. And not only that, they actually have do this like a push and pull method where they try to make some aggression, but then again, they will pull back and re-hit the site maybe. And this time around, they're changing up the pacing yet again, trying to overwhelm the players of NYX here. Paiti already knows there's going to be someone that's going to be the first kill that she's looking for. No stun, or rather no cancel from that 0 point, but the flash settles in and gets her away. 4v4 situation.
Spike goes down. Inari gets taken down, yes, but they also take care of Paiti, so there's gonna be no more camera required from the side to really play spoils for Camillo, though. Finds the opener, another couple to boot, on track for the ace here, and she's just holding down the line along with the rest of the SMG squad. They're playing so aggressive in their post plan, knowing that they have the weapons and the numbers advantage here. The remainder of NYX, they're gonna have to get through so much ammunition to even make their way out the site. An insane shot to come out from Delbisky. Capricious with the trade as well, but still, it is a 1v2 scenario, and Shirazi and Kohaibi, they're both playing hyper aggressive to boot. Just like that, SMG, they find 11. A nice attempt from NYX, though, to be able to at least make it a bit expensive. However, looking at SMG's economy, I don't think they're going to be worrying for the rest of the game.
Well, yeah, and really difficult for them as well. They couldn't get in the trades. As far as we are looking at, it seems like when it comes to the info or the intel itself, SMG doesn't give that away for free. You could see how they take the site control here as waiting patiently. And again, because of no proactiveness coming in from NYX, they wouldn't know if there's someone on B site. They really just have to wait until those utilities just comes crashing into the site, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, there's just no early warning system. Exactly the proactivity that you mentioned, kind of missing from the NYX side. It seems like they've put in a lot of prep work on their attacking half, but on defense, they just look a little bit lost against the aggression that SMG have been showing, right? They're just 4-person pushing into the site here, and Inari doesn't even care about the tripwire. She just walks through them. She sees them, and she's like, use me as bait. I get a kill? Sure. I don't get a kill? That's okay.
Human initiator, my friends. That's
Just
Inari.
Human skydog.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess, like, she's going up or gunning up on that MVPs against Alexi, so it's a challenge for her. But Delbisky right behind the side. Overdrive cancelled out here. But again, a quick trade coming in from SMG. Kohaibi clears up the right corner as well. 4v3 situation. That is definitely there.
Camille able to take down Kachao as well, so that's just gonna leave Tidy and Con in an attempt to make something happen. They both find a kill each though, so that brings things down back to a 2v2. Neural Theft will split the position of these remaining players as well, and Con quick to find that kill. Now down to a 1v1 though. Camille tagged by the Neural Theft. It's not gonna matter. Despite that, she finds the headshot onto Piety. Just beautiful positioning to bring SMG to match point on their opponent's map pick. Wow.
Fortunately for Con there, it was too low of an HP for her to actually make something happen, and especially with Camille hitting those shots as well. And as you can see, she stopped fragging at this point. It might be Neri and Lexi trying to make up for it, but so far Camille is definitely creeping up on those on that leaderboard that we're looking at. But this quick replay, again, that intel that they have already, that Piety would be playing on the backside, you could just assume where the shots might be happening or where your crosshair would be afterwards.
Precious again this time around holding down the fort, able to find a Neri, but it's not gonna matter because SMG, they're watching every other angle, just ready for those impact trades to come in, and it's just going to come down to a 1v4. Already Seekers being popped for a little bit of extra information out of Alexi. They're just gonna be trying to follow it through. However, in that 1v1, at least Piety's able to win it out, but that said, it's just gonna be one that she finds. Again, domination coming out of SMG, 13-5 on Sunset, just continuing their W streak through the last couple of tournaments that we've seen. Insane performance to come out of every single player on that roster. Like, look at that scoreboard, Taylor.
As Alexi would say, apparently she's not Princess Alexi anymore. In the comment section, she's Queen Alexi now. I don't know, guys. Anyway, this first map that we've looked at, we know it was a map pick by NYX. And to be fair, that first half really gave us a glimpse of what they could do. And with more polish, I feel like this Sunset map can actually be their pocket strat or pocket pick coming in from NYX Kyosei in the future.
I definitely think so as well. Like you mentioned, on their attacking half, they had a lot of protocols set. They were like super prepared for whatever SMG was trying to pull out of their pocket. But I think that on their defensive side, they were just not prepared for the raw aggressiveness that SMG have made their trademark over the year. Like when an area just runs through all of your tripwires, what do you even do at that point? It's just an unstoppable force meets sort of movable object. Though I think kudos to NYX Kyosei, they did at least put up quite a show. If you think about how SMG has been pretty much stomping almost every team throughout the year, the fact that an LCQ team who's only made it to playoffs once before is putting up this kind of show, it's pretty impressive from their side.
Really, that no fear meta is helping throughout for the side of SMG here. I mean, if you think about it, how many people can be tripwired? Only one. And at the end of the day, they could be already on site while you try to pinpoint or try to swing out the player who got caught on that tripwire as well. But anyway, that was just the first game that we have right here. And it might be, when it comes to statistics, when it comes to the maps as well, like you said or mentioned a while ago, for the side of NYX here, they should be able to get this map number 1 to really have that bigger of a chance when it comes to stats, but you just never know. It might be them being hungry for the win for the next map later on, but obviously we have highlights as well to look at when it comes to this map as well, Zach.
Yeah, I think our paddlers have quite a bit to say. I can hear them kind of calling for it, so Mika and Colin, over to you guys.
I'm sorry, were we being too demanding? I was just getting like really impatient at that time because I just needed to be able to let this out. I think that NYX Kyosei, this was admirable for them. You know, I think that, you know, they came in with some sort of plans, just like Team SMG. They're just way too strong at this point, even if it's on a new map like Sunset. I do think that NYX Kyosei, it seemed like they did have some stopping power. I mean, you did have the Cypher, you did have the Harbor as well. It's just that, like Zach put it, right? It's like, or I think it was Tero who put it, you know, you just need one person to cross that utility, and then the other 4 will follow up, and that's more than enough.
Yeah, and if you look at the compositions, right, SMG's comp is so aggressive, right? You have double flashes, you have the suppress, and you have the Dion as well. And for almost every single kill, or at least the majority of them, whenever I see NYX Kyosei defending the site, they're either stunned up or flashed up before SMG, take the swing and actually try to go for the frag. And that's just, credit to SMG for really using their utilities to its maximum potential. Every execute was so perfectly done. Every flash, every stun, either from the Neon, from the Trailblazer as well. It was so perfectly placed that sometimes it feels like NYX Kyosei just didn't have a chance, right? Maximum they get is one, but instantly traded out. And then SMG, right? Every single player, not just Kohaibi, right? She is the MVP, but everybody else putting up great numbers. And it's a masterclass showing coming in for SMG on that second half.
Yep, still haven't broken through that streak, right? They're still on a record. Of course, the series isn't done just yet, but as we pointed out during, but right before this match, Colden, it doesn't look good, especially since it's going to be Team SMG's map pick coming up next, which is going to be Ascent. And if, with the similarities of Sunset and Ascent, if it goes away like how Sunset went, I'm not feeling too optimistic for NYX Kyosei. They did, however, put up quite a good showing in the first half, right? There was that we were surprised that it was very close actually. But you have again a player like Kohaibi over here who, as we mentioned during the half, right, it's more than enough to hold a site. I loved this the Sentinel kind of showdown that they had with Piety with all of these really, really high risk and unpredictable lurks that even Team SMG were like, I'm not exactly sure where on the map she is. She's just somewhere. And you have Kohaibi, who is she's somewhere on the site, yes, but you can't also tell because she's just so good at weaving her way around the enemy team, right? So they're pushing onto the site, but at the same time, it's I think she's somewhere among us, and you have actually Shirazi who assisting her with all these smokes, right? It's just this amazing teamwork that's coming in to be able to set up each team member to their best ability. And yes, Kohaibi is absolutely adorable. Okay, she is a cutie. We can say that.
Yeah, perfectly, as you mentioned, right? Kohaibi just being the absolute rock for her team on the defense side. Yeah, it sometimes got a little bit dicey, but she was the reliable one that really, really held it down at the end of the day, especially on that attacking side. Honestly, she didn't really need to do much on the attacking side, right? She just needed to hold the flank. Yeah. Her teammates kind of did the work, and then she swept up and cleaned up whenever, they needed her. Her aim,
it was
nobody
Kamiya's
needs to mention. Yeah, exactly. Everyone had a chance to showcase their prowess. Everyone had multi-kills here, left, right, center, and as I like what you mentioned, right? Sunset is pretty similar to Ascent, and that's the next map we're gonna have. So, question marks in the air for NYX Kyosei, but I don't know. It's gonna be a rough one on the second map at least.
Yeah, we really can't tell, right? Who knows? Maybe NYX Kyosei is just okay, we're all warmed up, and now we can actually, maybe now they have Team SMG where they want them. I don't know. We really can't tell. Who knows? Maybe the power of Fifi will pull through. As we head into a break, we are going to find out when we head into Ascent. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
One enemy remaining. My ultimate is ready. Standing. One enemy remaining.
Show me what you got. Back that up, 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 back that up Back what you got. Show me what you got. Down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God. Ain't no reason to back down, so step it up. God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God, down, up, back, back, God, down, up, back, back, up, God.
Got the money in the bank. Hit you with the. Hit you with the bank. Hit you with the. Hit you with the 808. Hit you with the. Hit you with the 808. Bang to the break. Bang to the break. Bang to the break. Bang, 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 bang. I'm a boss, and you know that I'm finna shine. Got the money in the bank. Got the money in the bank. Got the money in the bank. Bank, 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 bank. Got the money in the bank.
Hit you with the 808.
Hit you with the. Hit you with the bank. Hit you with the. Hit you with the 808. Hit you with the. Hit you with the 808. Bang to the.
Welcome back to Game Changers APAC Elite. We are on to map number 2 between Team SMG and NYX Kyosei. And right now we are seeing Team SMG just doing Team SMG things and winning everything so far. But we are going to Ascent right now. NYX Kyosei, we saw that the earlier map pick was quite a surprise indeed with Sunset. Right now we are going into Ascent, a more standard pick coming from Team SMG. What do you think, Colden? Are we expecting more standard compositions here from Team SMG? We do know that sometimes they can bring out the Reyna.
Yeah, so I'm actually pretty, at least I'm pretty confident, right, that SMG are gonna be running that pretty unique comp that they actually did play, I think, once in Open 3, which is a double controller setup with Harbor as well as Viper. On the other hand, I think NYX Kyosei will probably go back to the standard that they have been, running on 11 maps, I think, so far on Ascent, which is the standard. The standard Ascent comp, the Jed, KO, Killjoy, Omen, as well as Sova. So I will say NYX Kyosei has an 82% win rate, but then again, it's up against SMG, so yeah, I'm kind of leaning still in SMG's favor after that kind of display on Sunset.
And I think we do have a stat here coming from Zach, right? Shout out to Zach, by the way, who is ever supporting us on and on desk as well. She said that it seems as though Team SMG not only have a 100% win rate so far here on the circuit, they also have a 100% win rate on Ascent. That does not look good for NYX Kyosei, especially since, as we mentioned earlier, Golden, they kind of drew the short straw here at Elite. So I don't know what they can pull out here to surprise Team SMG. Whatever it is, I just don't know what could possibly surprise them at this point.
I think they already tried the surprise card, right? That was the wild card that we just saw on Sunset. It looked good in the first half, but when it switched over, I think SMG, they were really, really confident on the attacking side, and I think they had a good read on how NYX Kyosei would like to play that map. So moving into Ascent, where it's very, mid-round heavy, where a lot of the mid-round calls are very important, I think a team as strong as SMG would just have a massive advantage. The only solace that I can kind of put in NYX Kyosei is, again, I'm going back to the prediction I made on Sunset, which is Piety. I think she's now going to be switching over to that Omen, which is her most played agent and her most successful agent. And I'm kind of relying on her to really make the difference for the team of NYX Kyosei going into Ascent.
Yeah, and we could see Capricious switch on over to the Killjoy instead, right? And I'm a big fan, actually, of how Capricious is able to play the Killjoy. Finally, possibly seeing Khan on over to the Sova as well, and I'm a big fan of that. But again, Team SMG here, I feel like they can afford to play around right now, right? At their level, they're okay with bringing out the Reyna on the center, okay with doing a double controller, being even a little bit more experimental than that. And I feel like for NYX Kyosei at this point, their best foot forward is still several steps behind Team SMG, and I could say the same about several teams here in Elite right now. So for NYX Kyosei, like, they cannot make any mistakes at all. I mean, again, they're up against arguably the best team right now, the team that is anything but crowned here at Game Changers APAC. So going into Ascent, which you could say is pretty much home court for Team SMG, it's looking dicey indeed. It's looking scary. I just hope that their morale right now, their confidence, if that's all they have, then they better bring every single ounce of it.
Yeah, at the very least, moral victory. If they can bring it to a relatively close scoreline on Ascent, I think that would do great for their mental, especially, moving on to the tournament. This is still the upper brackets, of course, right? They still have a chance. The lower brackets is not game over just yet. So I think going with that, mindset, that mentality, saying that, okay, guys, this is, the best team in the region right now. Whatever damage we can do to them, whatever, if we can push them to the limit, if we can make them panic, take a couple of timeouts, get their confidence growing as well. I think moral victories here is not a bad consolation prize in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, that is something that I'm kind of looking forward to NYX Kyosei at the very least.
Yeah, I would say so. Although we don't want to feel like, it's a little bit too desolate for NYX Kyosei at the moment. It's just that, like, hey, again, it's a short straw, right? They do also have, some strong points here on Ascent, right? We did see that, NYX Kyosei, I think the last time they went up on Ascent, they did have, in the standard position, they had Piety actually do perform very, 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 very memorably again. And Piety just always being the anchor of NYX Kyosei, right? I am curious to see whether it's going to be Delbisky on the duelist role, because it could also be Capricious, right? She does tend to bring out the Jet sometimes here on Ascent. So is it going to be Capricious on the Killjoy? Is it going to be Delbisky on the Killjoy? I'm wondering how they're going to be switching around the roles, switching around things, because that's definitely going to mess a little bit with the momentum that they set up for Team SMG on Ascent, on Sunset rather. So how are they going to switch around the roles, and what kind of flavor will that give Team SMG? As we head into agent selection right now, we are going to see what indeed they have prepared. So let's get into it. Team SMG though, I'm expecting them to be a little bit playful here, but instead they go with a very standard composition here. I'm actually
Yeah, they
surprised.
got a game face. Yeah, they got a game face on the serious face of SMG. They're bringing out the default comp on Ascent. Mirror matchup, of course. You had that question about Delvisky versus Capricious or which agent. Well, Delvisky, opting for that Jet. I think that's the agent that she's more comfortable with, or at least, the same composition. And yeah, I think if it's a mirror matchup, it really shows that Team SMG do not want to mess around, right? This is a composition that they are comfortable playing. We've seen them try different comps, right? The double controller composition before, but perhaps, saving strats for later on in the tournament, perhaps. I don't know. But yeah, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough for
It's kind of like,
Kyosei.
yeah, Team SMG saying like, we're not smiling anymore. I mean, I think they are still smiling, but they're like, okay, it's down to business here. We want to end this very, very quickly, so let's just give them the standard. No mistakes here from any of these teams. So let's toss it on over to our casters, Taylor and Zach, once again.
Thank you so much, Mika and Coldan. And of course, salamat siyang. Magandang hapon, good afternoon, buenos dias, guten tag if you're from Germany. But anyway, we are finally back for game number 2. I had that memorized, Zach. Whew.
Truly international. We got our casting panel here, but I think that can be said throughout, like for all 4 of us. Back to the game though, we're gonna be heading into Ascent. SMG's pick, like our panel mentioned, this agent comp. It shows that they're not really here to mess around. They want to get it over with as soon as possible. Though I was really looking forward to that, Reina, because I will tell you this, Eliza, every time I cast this map, it is the same agent comp. Like, come on, guys, give
We're
us
done
something
with
to talk about.
Bring back
Please.
Fracture now. We're over. Ascent, man, it's gonna be that default setup yet again. But I do think, again, having a KO really powerful, especially shutting down those traps if you need to with those Killjoy setups. But we are looking at a mirror matchup anyway, Zach. Are you expecting aggressiveness or really just default setups all throughout?
Well, from SMG, I'm definitely expecting aggressiveness. Whether they're on attack or defense, I don't care. I know that Aneri has a tendency to just push through mid or A main or whatever she's feeling
so
like.
cute.
So, yes, Fifi buff. I think that NYX really needed at this point. We were talking about the Fifi buff throughout that LCQ and how it got them here, but it's gonna have to go a little bit further as we do head into Ascent. And remember, NYX, they're already a map down. They lost Sunset. They had a pretty good first half, but they could not win a single round when the side switched over to defense. And on Ascent, like our panel did mention, 100% win rate so far for SMG. I think that the closest that anybody got to be able to deal with them was about 13-8. That was the most rounds that anyone's gotten against SMG on this map. The average is like 13-4, 13-1. I think the first ever game they played this year on Ascent was a 13-0, so definitely one of their strongest maps.
Like you said and the panel said a while ago, it is still so far 100% win rate for SMG. But the good side here for any teams going up against SMG is that they can VOD review out of it. They have so much videos of this and they can learn actually what the setups would be. That's Delvisky securing a double kill immediately towards Market here. And again, that's a much needed take.
Oh, and Eri just goes past it. Perfect flash to buy a little bit more time for Delvisky to stay alive. However, Kohaibi walking through B main, takes the fights, finds the first, looks for a little bit more, but Delvisky with the Sheriff still making it sing. Finds Alexi to boot. Now regrouping with the rest of the team. They have spike control in Market. SMG, they're going to have to go a little bit back to retrieve it. And the numbers advantage is finally in favor of NYX in this pistol round. The door gets closed. They have to play this out perfectly here with the numbers being as low as they are. And NYX themselves, they've all regrouped to play together for the trades, which is really nice.
Little bit of a mishap there on Market as they tried to take it away, but this recon gonna get shut down from the side of SMG.
Oh
That's
my
gonna
God.
be the cross, or rather the double trouble setup coming in from SMG as well on that post plant situation. And yet again, they were trying to control that stairs all throughout and no one on lane.
Very unfortunate, but apart from this really nice start for NYX, I think the mistake that they really made was giving SMG that space to play with, especially once they had control of the spike. They tried to take the they tried to take the 3v2, but when that spike was going down, they had the opportunity to make it a 3v1 as Kyosei was kind of stuck planting that spike. So a little bit of missed timings and also just insane shots coming out on the side from the SMG squad. They make that round what looked really, really bad in the beginning. They turned it back around here, and I think that's exactly what they needed now in area. Guardian and hand looking for those early picks towards short, but NYX themselves, they're playing really passively here with the kind of guns they have.
Yeah, they could just wait as well and try to stack onto a site and maybe get info and make a retake happen. But I think that 0 point will actually detect Kachao as well, all the way from market. This is again the SMG way that we've seen from Sunset a while ago. No noise at all. And at the same time, when the time is right, they would throw all in when it comes to their utilities and make it a little bit overwhelming for the side of NYX. But this knife though, really big for them. That's gonna be 5 people detected.
Oh my god, all 5 of them caught out. It's not gonna really stop them from walking into sight because it seems like NYX were playing for retake, but at least NYX now know that B is gonna be where that push is coming. The spike itself gets planted, and you can see that SMG, they're all playing on site for the post plant. At least for a while, you see the trademark aggression coming out of them now as it takes into space. Oh, Kyosei with the Sheriff, able to find the shot onto Patricius. Alexi for a second as well. At least Delvisky through the market area, able to find some success with the Sheriff to find an opener, denying the flawless, but with 34 HP left, the entire SMG squad, they're just spraying her through, peppering her down in the smoke, and there's just really not much that she can do here. If that dark cover goes away, there's just gonna be so many players looking at her, and Shirazi will be the one to find that kill.
It's like watching Star Wars. No shots connecting on that point, you know. But nevertheless, it is what it is. A 2-0 coming in here, and SMG takes that away yet again. But as you can see, Delbisky quite strong on this Sheriff shots, I would say. A lot of takes coming in here, and a lot of pickoffs coming in from their side. And I think, especially moving forward, this would help them a lot in eco rounds when they have that ult covering them up for the side of Delbisky. But other than that, an Odin has been pulled out.
Odin indeed, and I feel like there's no better power couple than Odin's on Ascent in the hands of a Sova. It's like a power triple. I don't know the word exactly for it, but yeah, it's like the best combination that you really see coming into play, and I feel like Con really needs the opportunity to just utilize it, because so far in these rounds, SMG, they've been excellent at taking a lot of mid control right off the bat. They've done the conditioning to make that mid and B split the expectation so far as they look to go towards A instead. And I think how the fights play out on short, it's gonna kind of decide how the remainder of the round goes through here. The Paranoid just connect with their own Sova, but a beautiful flash. It's gonna force an area back in for a little bit. Counter coming in. Wyvie on meantime to find these kills on an area as well to take down both towards short, and just like that, SMG, they find not only the opening kills, another one for an area, but also the site. Now just caught in a 1v5. It might be better to just save, and that's the call. Look at her.
To be fair, Zarg, that setup coming in from NYX was actually perfect. All utility-wise, when it comes to Alexi, even her drone was blinded. And aside from that, here on short or towards trees, the delay was definitely there. It just seems like SMG isn't afraid of anything, or isn't afraid of taking control and fighting over a spot here or a space to be controlled. And so far, this Odin might be saved for the time being. Expensive, I would say, but much needed. And that shot coming in from Inari just shuts it down quite easily.
That's the Inari we all know and love. You know, about this particular player, I think that a little bit of history while we wait for the next round to start. For everyone who hasn't been following APAC, which I'm sure is a very minority, yes, I actually said that. But they were winning almost every single Game Changer event from 2021 until 2022 last year, where they fell in Elite. And Inari didn't get a chance to go to Berlin to represent APAC at that championship. It's her do-over this year, and it's been her dream to really make that happen. And you can see exactly why she is one of the most talented players we have in this APAC side of things. 4K for her to start things off, and I feel like she genuinely deserves the title of just the most aggressive player to ever touch this game, because the way she slays, man.
Drone fight towards B main here as well. battle of drones, but so far, no movements aside from SMG trying to creep up, especially they have control over market. It's going to be a surprise towards that Sova and
Oh,
Khan
no.
to go down yet again. 5v4 situation. Capricious on the shots itself. I've seen her done this multiple times. Even made a video about it. But let's see what it can do for the time being as SMG, again, with this lockdown quite open, no contest at all. It's an eco for
Placing
NYX.
swarm grenade.
Oh my god, they're 4-person pushing into spawn here to try and find these kills, these openers. A little bit of molly action is going to make them fall back, at least take out a little bit of space in the corner. It's going to be the Bucky to take down Shirazi. I don't think Shirazi was expecting that. Trades come in, and NYX, they still keep the numbers looking pretty good. Kyosei finds those 2 kills, looking for the 3rd, will succeed, and SMG, they extend their lead to 4. For a second, it got a bit dicey there, but Kohibi's positioning, as always, just chef's kiss.
Not too bad for an eco here coming in from NYX, especially when SMG actually took full control of the site itself. And with the last 2 remaining players, at least a little bit of a dent towards that economy side. But yet again, it's a 4-0. And Fifi already asking for a timeout here. Maybe a little treat on the side if much needed. But anyway, they just have to readjust and really replan and map out what will happen for this next round. This is their next official buy round, basically. And they really want to make those... it's not just about the utilities connecting, but also making those shots connect as well, Zach.
Yeah, I think that when it comes to these aim battles, right, SMG, they're winning out most of the time. However, NYX, on this map, they've looked a little bit ready to punish them for over-aggressing. Like that last round, for example, you could see Aneri just running into spawn to try and find a couple of kills until Capricious shut her down with the Sheriff's shot. That said, though, I think that, again, it's what was missing from NYX on that previous map, the proactivity that you really want to see, that early information, that partner and maybe take those fights head-to-head. Instead, they're just letting Aneri take up so much space for free, whether it's towards market or her dashing in through B main. They're just letting her find those huge openers, and it goes completely uncontested. I think that it's going to be pretty important for NYX to get that operator online as soon as possible, because that will let them control the lane much easier. That said, though, solo aggression is not the way. Capricious, she goes for the swing a little bit ahead of that recon dart, and Aneri, as always, just there for the punish.
Especially as a sentinel as well. This just eliminates all the traps that she could have set up on the site itself, but I guess she wasn't expecting that much of an aggression. But if you're playing against SMG, it's very much expected. An area on the way to lane already. They're all the way to the side. No one checks, but there's gonna be that kill that they're looking for as well on towards Switch. Now, with the Switch being closed off, it's a 5v3.
Again, numbers overwhelmingly in favor of SMG. I think Khan was trying to play anti-flash there, but Koibi just jumps in and would be like, wait a minute, that's not our Sova. That's the opponent Sova, and takes her out of the equation. Now, like you mentioned, 5v3, no real retake ults available here. Kachao, though, 2 off the null command, so a couple of kills might do them a favor. That said, though, a beautiful recon from Princess Alexi will spot out the remainder of the squad. It's just an area with the knives now to find that final kill, and SMG, it's a 5-0 lead that they have so far. And I think that after this map, the one point of data that I would be really interested to see is how many first kills Aneri got, because I think so far she is 5 out of 5. Apart from that first round, 4
I
out
mean,
of 5.
she already had her ult at this point, and really not saving it for anything despite having a Vandal. Really doesn't care. And so far, Kohibi with 11-0 is also really big for SMG here. It's not just Aneri stepping up to the table or to the plate here, but also Kohibi as well since game number 1. So far, a 5-0, a very clean rounds, or rather clean rounds coming in here from SMG side. Destroying that turret as well gives a little bit of an info towards NYX. Smoke off towards that as well, but this is what SMG does. Yet again, a push and pull, but now with that ult, this would be the take.
Yeah, they're just, again, storming their way in. Nalkamad shutting down this utility. However, Khan still willing to play spoil sport on site. Only able to find one, though, before the kills go in. The Nalkamad also effectively shutting down Delvisky's blades for the duration of the round, so she couldn't find any of those cringe updraft Bladestorm kills that we're so used to seeing from Jets on this particular map. That said, though, beautiful suppress to come out.
Oh no.
Just catch both of them to boot, so they know exactly where the remainder of these players are coming from. They're gonna have to try to somehow translate these fights. The utility usage from SMG just so much to deal with, though. Overwhelming NYX as they try to find some kind of space on the site.
enemy remaining.
Goes forward, but with the angle is perfect for the kill. It's just a 1v3, and Delbisky almost gets wallbanged right there. It's about the exits that she can find. At least tries to take down one, but Shirazi, again, the SMG awareness. It's across the map, totally in the team, and this is why they are at this juncture the super team for APAC. Like, I think that was their tagline when it was formed, right? They picked up like players from every single successful roster from last year, put them in a team, and they were like, yeah, go kill.
So far, it's a picture perfect play. If you think about it, the delay was completely there. You have a drone covering Piety basically, and you also have a recon towards the Bisky. It was too difficult for them to retake or make a retake happen at that point. 6-0, and now we are looking at NYX finally an investment or a heavy investment towards that operator, with the rest of the team just on an eco disadvantage as well.
There's a shorty in the smoke, and I think Piety has already found one kill, but with the help of this weapon in one of those previous eco rounds. That said, though, for the side of NYX, they have a lot of these ults to work with. In particular, this operator hero buy from Delbisky. It might be enough to find these crucial openers. Oh my god, that shot doesn't connect, though, and that's really unfortunate. That could have been Ed. A second one goes wide as well, and already there's so much pressure towards the short area. Finally, Delbisky makes it work out, takes an area. That's the tip of the spear down. This eco round looks a little bit more viable for the side of NYX. Kyosei, unfortunately, Khan tries to go for a peek with the Marshall, gets taken out by Shirazi, which brings the numbers back to even footing.
Those two shots were the opening, the space that they needed. But they were able to secure a kill, though. And this is Capricious on the corner. Not enough on the damage itself. Not the damage at all, I would say. And with the presence detected here, Delbisky will need to reposition as well. Paranoia connecting even just a tad bit of that as well. It will still connect, and again, SMG getting ready for that post plan.
4v3 situation, and I remember only Delbisky has the gun to work with here, the operator in hand. It might be better for her to just try to save it while the rest of the team tries to make an attempt at finding some kind of value. Heidi leading the charge kind of with this Bucky in hand. Unfortunately, Kachao will be taken down by Kamiyu. A little bit of a KO diff there with the weaponry, and it's just going to be these two players playing around the smoke, maybe catching out the exits. Apart from that, it's just another SMG round all the way. We're looking at a 7-0 lead here. Oh no, the operator gets spotted out as well, and I wouldn't be surprised if SMG go on the hunt. It's just down to Delbisky, and it's not even about how many kills she can find. It's about her just staying alive, desperately fighting for her life. But it's not going to be happening. SMG, are they even going to take the operator? Because they're just happy to just plow through right now.
Yeah, they're just happy to take that away in the hands of NYX here. And especially for her side, like you said, they were really going to go for that hunt. They have lots of money to play around with, economy to play around with, and not other than that, it's another stop towards NYX's plans in the future and the next following rounds. Anyway, they still have money to buy, though, for those Vandals. Only half of the shields, as we can look at NYX's, and other than that, it's just the perfect timing for utility-wise when it comes to this double innie.
Oh no, towards B main, it's going to be Kohaibi with on the board. Triple peek coming in towards her, a little bit too much even for the likes of Kohaibi to deal with, and that will be first blood going in favor of NYX for the first time in many rounds since that pistol. That said, though, a beautiful fling off the back of the Paranoia from Capricious to find another two. That's going to get them control of the spike as well. Now, 2v5 situation.
Wait, isn't Mary here?
Overwhelmingly behind. She came in through short. They tried to use the null command to make a play, but unfortunately, it will be just a 2v5. Make it a 2v4. And Neri finds that opener. Heidi hangs around. If they can find this kill, it might make things a little bit more viable, and they do indeed. 2v3 situation, slowly but surely SMG narrowing down the gap here. Delbisky looking to take another fight as they push forward, but an Ares crosshair placement, it's not going to be good enough. The trades finally in favor of NYX as they find their first round. Really, really well played. I think especially that crunch towards main off the back of that Paranoia. Incredible work.
Yeah, really, really good Paranoia coming in here from Piety. Basically made this kills from Capricious happen completely. And other than that, surprisingly, Inari, and obviously for the KO as well, helping her out. Seemed like it was a switch of a defense and attack But other than that, the trades, making sure that the trades are there. NYX Kyosei was able to secure one round here. It's a 7-1, and so far, you just need that little spark to make something happen, and maybe that confidence boost can take you round after round after round.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Talking about confidence, though, it's SMG walking up mid with all the confidence in the world. Your alarm bot gonna be broken to boot, and towards this main, you're putting some additional pressure on this A side. It's some split through shorts, and the Paranoia this time connects, but still Inari able to find the kill onto Tiny in that close range. Lockdown trigger to boot to find a little bit of additional space on the site, and it seems like they're gonna be just trying to play this 4v4 retake as Zelbisky finds another kill. Capricious catches Shirazi on the cross to boot, and now SMG, they're behind in numbers once again until Kamiyu finds that kill, so 3v3.
Miyu catching Kashao off guard here. Kamiyu, on the other hand, that's two crossed already. On the other hand, will try to get and punish one more player. This is Capricious being more proactive as we look into this next map. But this is also a Hunter's Fury to shut that ult from the Killjoy down as well. Completely shut down, and Kohaibi, it's just gonna be a crossfire setup from SMG.
I really like that play coming out of SMG there. Like, you could see how Alexi was waiting towards main, knowing that the lockdown was a possibility for that retake, and Kohaibi was happy to play on site because of that. I think that it's just good reads coming out from SMG throughout. That said, though, that could have been NYX's round, especially with how Delbisky was able to find a kill along with Capricious. Kamiyu, though, despite that lockdown, right, the aggression that she was showing to be able to take up that space and find that triple here, I think that's what really made this round another SMG win. She found both players towards short, no trade incoming until Capricious finally swings out, and it's just this lack of awkward spacing that we're seeing from NYX on their attempts to kind of come back together that SMG are just using to shred them apart. We've seen this round after round here.
A timeout actually coming in from SMG's side. Maybe
They're
Alexi
mad
needs
they
a
lost
bite.
the round.
She needs a little snack to make rounds happen here. But anyway, with this as well, NYX down the drain when it comes to that economy again. But we've seen them actually hit good sheriff shots as well. So you cannot really discount a thrifty round here coming in from NYX. It just so happens that SMG, when it comes to utility usage, they basically just perfected this map on their end.
For sure. I think that we've seen some insane lineups coming out of Kamiyu for the fragments. Kohaibi with her toaster oven killer Killjoy setups. It's just so difficult for them to really deal with it. But now we're going to be seeing that proactivity that we found so lacking in the past coming out of NYX in their equal round. SMG, though, they read it perfectly. They dropped the idea of contesting mid and just used the null command to try and make their way into the site. Oh, it's going to be the from the shadows to spot out Capricious. She finds an area at least, but it will just be a 1-for-1 trade as Kamiyu shuts her down. Spike itself will be passed on the B side, and that was an awkward retake with almost no information available for NYX Kyosei.
No choice for Capricious there, especially the recon settles in on the back end of the site as well. At least she was able to take one before she gets shut down. This is going to be the flash trying to just delay the players of NYX and making a retake happen. Kohaibi holding down the fort yet again, a triple for her. Finding another, that's going to be Con on that sheriff, but not enough to kill 3 more players. That's SMG securing a 9-1.
This is NYX's defensive side as well. So most teams, they tend to have a little bit of a better performance on defense than the opposite side. And I think for NYX, though, looking at how they played Sunset, they did find most of their success on attack. So maybe we can hope for a little bit of a comeback in that second half. They are going to have an operator online once again in Khan's hands, which is a little interesting. Usually you don't see the Sova pick up the operator of all the weapons, but maybe that's the kind of surprise that they really need to give to SMG, the way that this map has been going so far. Looking at the numbers, it's just been a very uneven trade. The cross gets spotted as well by Inari, and she decides not to really try to venture into that particular area after hearing the op shot sink through. Very quick adjustment to try and go towards A short instead.
It's going to be that push and pull yet again from SMG's side. They chose A short instead. Alexi to start off with the drone, leading that charge. They closed off the doors here already. No more info for you, Alexi. So far, it's still a 5v5 as Shirazi shuts down one, make it a 5v4. This is going to be an area trying to punish or trying to push A main, but instead, Delbisky to meet her from behind. Con with the operator. Will she push this? I think a save would have been better, but again, that shots from that shock dart as well connecting might be the opening she's trying to look or find.
Aww. Unlucky there. Con with the operator, not really able to do too much. Tries to go for the shot on the planter, but that was just a distraction. You could see the jiggling from main from Shirazi, just that final boss that you really don't want to face. I feel like for SMG, the problem for any team that goes up against them is that, sure, you know, sometimes you think, okay, Neri's the final boss, Gohaibi's the final boss, but every single player on this team has the potential to be that final boss kind of situation. 1v3, no problem. You toss them in, then the odds are that they're going to clutch it out, and that's exactly what makes them, is the reason for them just having such a dominating run through APAC so far. And they're able to judge this time. Dashes in quickly. Little bit of backspacing from Kondo will take her down. However, the 26 HP, the damage in an area is already done. Will be enough to take care of Kachao thanks to the fragment. A very quick plant and execute comes in. And in this last round and a half, NYX, they're once again in this kind of position where they have to retake. At least this time they have a couple of ults.
Not today, as they say or they tell Inari, but this is going to be the Hunter's Fury coming in from On. It actually connects the two players. That's going to be a triple kill for her already. Camu already low in the HP. Shorty out for her onto the face. That's going to be Delbisky securing the kill. And again, a round finally for NYX here to close it off to a 2-10.
That was such a W, Hunter's Fury, to be able to take not one but two players on site with it exactly what you want to see from your Sova player. 2-10, sure, the numbers could look a little bit better, but hey, SMG, they have a reputation for being dominant on this map, so it's gonna be a little bit of an uphill battle, a lot of an uphill battle, in fact, for NYX to bring this back here. But before we head into that second half, I do believe that I would like to hear from our panelists about what they have to say about what we've seen so far.
Well, wish granted, Zach. You will hear from us indeed. I just have to say, though, you can't make SMG start an attack. Like, that's it. That's it. I mean, I mean, the score speaks for itself, right? This team is incredibly aggressive, and then you're gonna give them the momentum on attack. It's like you already kind of know how the map will play out at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a masterclass coming in from SMG. I see great sparks of inspiration, of ideas coming in for the NYX Kyosei side, right? They had some good plays, but they just couldn't connect the dots. And the gunfire, right? The mechanical skill SMG is just so strong in any instance, right? You pair two of them up together and they form an instant crossfire anywhere they decide to push. So it's so difficult to try to siege that kind of an opponent.
Yeah, the teamwork is just coming out in every single round, and it just feels like they have each other's back 100%, like no matter where they are, right? And it's going to be incredibly difficult for NYX Kyosei to kind of turn this around, especially with the momentum so strongly on the side of SMG. But we're gonna see. I mean, our casters did make a point that NYX Kyosei did start pretty well on attack on the other map, so we'll see if they can have that and manage to channel that as we step back into Ascent.
Teamwork makes the dream work when it comes to that analysis as well. And Zach, the thing about it for NYX's side, I feel like they just need to be a little bit of a boost when it comes to the confidence itself, because they really hit the shot so far, and even the utilities as well from a while ago.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that first round, it shows that NYX Kyosei, they're not like slouches when it comes to the aim department. Delbisky got 3 with the Sheriff, all of them headshots, by the way. So definitely they have the potential. I think that it just comes down to the fact that they're relatively a newer team and they don't have as much experience. I say as much because I'm sure that Capricious, Kachao, and Baidi, they've been playing since Game Changers was a thing here. So for SMG, they just have a little bit of a deeper map pool and experience when it comes to the scene. So I think in time, NYX might be a bit better, but right now it's just the Inari show 2 Sheriff shots to the head. She says, if Dobeski can do it, I can do it too. And across the map, SMG
enemy
winning
remaining.
these duels out. A third for Inari. She's on the hunt. And while she won't get the fourth, Shirazi will a flawless pistol to start things off here. And this is exactly what we want to see out of a defending squad on a sense sometimes. Just that careless kind of push with all the confidence in the world. And Inari getting a 3K. Just another day at the office for her, I think.
Those two initial shots hurts for the side of NYX there. As soon as you peeked, you basically didn't see 5 seconds of the round at that point. And so
It hurt
far,
me.
11-2 for the side of NYX here. Fifi, give the buff, take the rounds. Let's do it. We still have time. Inari with this Marshall. Let's see if she can take a shot or make a shot happen here. 49 HP remaining. And again, for NYX, they tried to push, or rather, they tried to pull again for that positioning.
Kachao has done some damage though, so we'll be able to take out Inari thanks to chipping down that armor. First blood going in favor of NYX Kyosei. The problem is that they only really have that Marshall to work with against the much heavier substantial purchase coming out of the SMG squadron. Now that they have found an opening towards short though, it's interesting to see where exactly they want to try and commit. B, they make a little bit of a foray towards it, spots the turret out, and Capricious will just settle into the corner here. So the problem is that you already do see the adjustment coming out of SMG's side. Once that noise towards B is spotted, they're playing a little bit more aggressive towards A. So the 3v2 confrontation on A main, it might decide how the rest of the round plays out.
Let's see though, a little bit slower on the side here of NYX, and that's gonna be SMG
no.
punishing them away. 3 versus 2 still for this time around, but make it a 3v1 as Alexi
30
tries to
seconds
rakes up the points before the game closes off. Alexi, again, after she recons, she takes a bite, you know, that's why she's just chilling. Good
Well,
trades.
Good trades. It was the best that NYX could do with the kind of buy they had, and there were only 2 players left alive, so SMG's bonus is gonna look a little bit difficult unless they fully invest in this round, which you can see them doing. But that said, this is match and series point for SMG, 1 round away from moving on in that upper bracket, and it's been domination on this map so far. I think that for them, they're feeling all the confidence in the world here as we head into Elite, and it's showing in their gameplay. Like, look at every single one of their players. Alexi is 4-7, not because that she's having a bad game, it's because that the rest of the team, they're just slaying out. Kohabi already has 18 kills on the killjoy, and she's barely even pushing through.
Alexi mad at B long or B main, but other than that, it's gonna be NYX trying to go A side.
what
This
a
recon is beautiful though for the time being. Fighting to get one. A good trade coming in from Kamiyu. It's trades after trades. 2v2 situation. This is a make or break. Maybe one more round. That's what NYX trying to say.
Spike planted.
1v2 situation. This is Alexi's chance. Princess Alexi's chance to step it out. Her position gets spotted by the turret, and unfortunately, she's not able to use the Odin to get that quick trade. Problem with really using the Odin in these kind of situations is it takes a little bit too long to shoot with compared to a Phantom or Vandal. That said, really nice execute to come out of NYX. They kind of just threw all caution through the wind and waited for that quick A execute, and they were really rewarded for it because of how effective they were at trading each other.
This is what exactly they need though for so far on the rounds that we are looking at. Even on game number 1, when it comes to those trades, there's just a little bit of that delay. And that little bit of a delay is what makes SMG try to make up and really fully utilize those time that Inari just pushes through. Inari, yet again on this one-way smoke, not gonna be enough this time around as Kon shuts her down.
That's a good opener there for NYX's side. Half the numbers in their favor as they look to go for their attack. However, Kamiyu and Shirazi with these sheriffs are just shredding through these players on site. NYX, they will be able to get that plan down, but numbers still remain in favor of SMG. You can already see the paranoia. It's going to connect with multiple people as they try to go in for that retake. SMG, all they have to do is hit the nail on the head with these headshots. A flash peek coming out of Kamiyu, but Capricious more than ready for the corner. He's able to find these kills. The lineup is almost there. It's just down to Kohabi. A 1v2, almost no HP left to work with. Spots the first player, but Capricious, she's been the hero in these last couple of rounds, and a 3K for her will keep NYX Kyosei in this.
They really need that aggression even, or despite her being that sentinel as well. And when you have that confidence that you can really take on the kills itself, why not, right? Nothing to lose at this point any longer. And SMG side 12-4. They only need one round here to really take it a 2-0. But NYX, Fifi's not giving up, Zach. They're not just gonna give this away to the side of SMG. And you never know, we might be even seeing a comeback starting to happen.
It's the Fifi buff.
It's the
We
Fifi
shall all
buff.
pray to our Lord and Savior Fifi. For NYX to get a couple more rounds in this match. A little bit of an awkward confrontation towards mid, but towards B main is where the action is really happening as SMG.
Last player
Get
standing.
aggressive right off the bat, finds 4 kills to their name, and it's now just down to Delbisky. She's on B side and she's surrounded by both Inari as well as Hybe. The contact takes it, wins the fight against Inari, but that gives her position away right now. A 1v3, and the spike, it's not in her possession. She has to go back for it. At least has time to work with a minute on the clock, but how these fights play out, the position of SMG, it's going to make it so difficult for her to make anything happen.
Not too bad though. It's only Camille really looking at her spot. She takes the shot in. 4 bullets remaining. And this smoke maybe would help her out actually. Rotation coming in. Maybe A side. Huge probability it would be A side. She already saw the traps of the Killjoy as well. But so far, she's trying to play the cards right. She has the Blade Storm
30
up and
seconds
online.
left.
Hybe checks the corner, and that's gonna be it for SMG. They take it to a 2-0.
Yeah. Fight coming back from Fifi and Co towards the second half of that map, but unfortunately the damage was done in the first. That 10-2 scoreline and the pistol loss afterwards, just a little bit too much for them to come back from. However, I think that we did see a couple of incredible rounds coming out of NYX Kyosei, so definitely going to be looking forward to seeing if they can make it through that lower bracket for a little bit of a comeback revenge match against SMG. But for SMG, just another day at work, 2-0, moving on to the upper bracket, getting ready for their next game. Nothing super new here that we've really seen, Eliza.
Still so far 100% win rate for when it comes to Ascent. So far
Okay,
so
keep it
good
up.
for the side of SMG. I mean, Alexi just recons, and after that, okay guys, 30-second break. I go eat. Okay, timeout guys, and that's basically it for them, right? But so far, obviously for the side of SMG, they've perfected this map. It's quite difficult for them to really be punished at this point. But will it continue? That's gonna be the question. So far right now, we're gonna, I think, pass it on to our panel to really talk about this first series that we had today. Mika and Koldan, take it away.
I mean, Team SMG just doing Team SMG things. I will just leave it at that. It is what we expected this to be, other than the surprising map pick of Sunset. I do believe, this is pretty much how we expected a Team SMG to make a bang here at Elite, right? I think what was surprising, though, was that NYX Kyosei was able to fight back in very crucial rounds, right? Even that very last round, Delbisky actually kind of had me hoping just a little bit, but it just goes to show that Team SMG, they're just on another level here at Game Changers APAC, Golden.
Yeah, I mean, the display on Ascent, I think that is the expected result. I don't think anyone's going to be too surprised with that. But I think that's the traditional SMG that we've all grown to love and watch tournament after tournament. This time around, again, they swapped over to the second side, and it was honestly just as you mentioned, classic SMG doing classic SMG things. But as you mentioned, right, NYX Kyosei, they did put up a decent fight. They did show some signs of brilliance, and they are still in the tournament, just going down to that lower bracket. But yeah, SMG still going to be staying alive, as we all kind of predicted in this upper bracket. And yeah, it'll be curious to see how things pan out, especially with their Sunset kind of semi-revealed. But I think that will have to be seen in the coming days.
Interestingly enough, I just realized that this is the first time actually that Team SMG brought out this particular composition on Ascent. As in this with the KO, Killjoy, Jet, Omen, and Sova exactly. So usually you might have a little something in there, like maybe an Astra suddenly in there, or maybe there's even a Sage. But this is the first time that they're actually using this exact composition, which everybody knows as the default Ascent composition, right? So interesting indeed. But they look very comfortable indeed on this. I don't think they were taken out of their comfort zone at all in this map.
Yeah, even though this is their first time picking this comp, it feels like it's just another day in the office for them. Everyone was able to do their duties, to play their role to perfection. MVP going to the KO, right? Kamyu, fantastic utilities thrown by her. You saw the great flashes as well as the suppression from the 0 point. Actually, really deter NYX on multiple occasions. So it's a great showing again from them. Utilities on point. Look at the stats. First kills, yeah, SMG 10, 7 to NYX, which is honestly not too bad. But I think when it came down to the nitty gritty, right, in the later rounds especially, SMG was just way cleaner.
Yeah, K-Mio is the name of the game for Team SMG. Also, again, Kohaibi is still managing to consistently perform that well. And Inari, I don't even think she really broke a sweat, right? We did see those incredible shots wherein suddenly she peaks and she takes down 2 or maybe even 3 with that iconic sheriff. But I really don't think that this was Team SMG really pushed at all, right? We're
No.
gonna save that for a little bit later into Elite right now. NYX Kyosei, though, it is not over for them. They are the first team into our lower bracket, and we're gonna see how they're gonna fight as their backs are against the wall right now. And Team SMG looks like the win streak, this incredible win streak, continues, Colden.
Yeah, who knows how long more this win streak is going to go on for, right? It feels like we're just waiting for that combo breaker, for someone to finally, get that win over SMG. I don't know if we're going to see in this tournament, but we'll never know, right? Especially if Breeze and Sunset in. We saw already, like, the first map being a very interesting one. But I think I want to put a bit of focus on NYX Kyosei, right? Despite them going down to SMG 2-0, I still think they have a decent chance to make a pretty deep run. I like the ideas that they have brought into this series so far. I like that very confident pick of Sunset. It just tells me that they have done their preparation, right? There's no way you're going to pick into Sunset without doing your work up against the best team in the tournament. And Ascent, yeah, it was a one-sided affair, but I like the ideas that they brought in, right? We saw them being aggressive. They tried to take mid control as well. It didn't really work out in the end, but again, as I mentioned, right, they have that idea in there. They brought in the new coach of Xie, who was coaching KDA previously, now coming into this team, giving them more ideas. And I like the playstyle that they have as well. So very curious to see how they will play on in that lower bracket.
Yeah, I think that also, like, for NYX Kyosei, right? You have to remember that this is a roster that was formed like a lot later than Team SMG, of course. I think it was open too for this team. So they don't have as much of a hive mind, I guess, that Team SMG has. Although it is getting there, you are seeing those plays, right? And you do have players again like Capricious and even Kachao and and Con also, who have just been like such mainstays here at Game Changers. So they are not out of the running just yet, right? They're not out of the running just yet. They still have another chance. And right now we do have an interview coming up, by the way, from Alexi of Team SMG. So do stay tuned for that. I also do have to say, hold on, this is just like a side comment, just because I'm dying right now. These hoodies are not made for Southeast Asian weather, can I just say? I'm like, but I'm gonna stick with it. I will abide by my choice to have represented this. But right now I'm like, oh my gosh, it's hot,
Respect.
okay? It's hot. I believe Alexi and the rest of Team SMG are on the line. So let's bring them up to your screens. Alexi and friends, are you guys there? Can you hear us over here?
Hi.
Aww, so
Can you hear
me? Yes,
Can you hear
we
me?
can hear you. Hello, Alexi. We have a couple of questions for you guys. Congratulations on the win. Another win yet again. You guys haven't lost, I think, since last year. This entire year, you guys haven't lost yet. Are you guys feeling additional pressure because of this? Because I feel like you have to have this kind of mentality, like, okay, how long can this go on? Does it, guys, make you feel worried or uneasy?
I think we always still got the pressure because we know that all people are all eyes on us, So, but at the end of the day, we don't worry about it, and we just need to focus on our games and goals.
Actually,
All right.
I have a... Oh, yeah, sorry. I have a question a bit more technical, right? It's regarding Sunset. I don't know if you guys were surprised or not, but like picking Sunset as the first map, do you think that NYX Kyosei was trying to, throw a curveball in, try to take you down, expose your strats a little bit, or were you guys really confident in playing that map with that new comp, I guess, that you're showing off to the world?
I think at first we're trying to hide our sunset comp because it's quite weird. If you can see like Neon, KO, and Sky, and Astra, but I think we managed pretty well. So yeah.
A little unexpected, but I think you guys would be fine, right? This is a question actually coming from Taylor. She's wondering, will you have good sleep? Finally.
You have good sleep.
No.
She said no.
No sleep. Not yet, right? The job's not done. The job is not done. I do have another question for you guys. Of course, like, Folden did mention like Sunset, for example, and Breeze. This was like a wild card that I guess you guys weren't expecting. Does this, I guess, like, affect the game plan for this entire week going into Elite? Is this something that you guys don't have to go into detail for this answer, but is this something that you guys might need to work around?
I think it's only the first game of the whole tournament, and we still got more to go, and maybe people need to wait for the spicy moments soon. So yeah.
Oh. Golden, do you have a
Teasing
final
us.
question?
Actually, I
I know.
do. I guess, for the entirety that SMG, has this roster has been alive for. We saw Full Send Sapphire actually take take a couple of maps off of y'all in this, whole year. But I'm just curious to see if you guys think that is Full Send Sapphire kind of like the next best team? Are they your biggest opponent, or is RQ Kaguya perhaps up there as well? Like, who do you guys think are your biggest opponents right now?
Our biggest opponent right now, I think we're expecting
Nobody.
everyone. Yeah, nobody. We just need to win until grand finals and see who's gonna be against us, I guess.
Awesome.
So it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Whoever it is, they'll take it down.
Laser focused onto their goal. It could be NYX Kyosei, it could be Scythe, it could be anybody. It's just that Team SMG, they know what they want. Thank you very much, ladies. Congratulations on your
Thank
win
you.
once again. And hopefully you guys can rest well. Please rest well, Inari, tonight.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Congrats.
Well, you heard it from Alexia. The spicy moments are yet to come. That means, well, I think we kind of knew it, but we haven't seen anything from Team SMG just yet.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see what else they have up their sleeve, and I think other teams in the tournament might push them to the edge to kind of force them into that play style, use those strats that they've been hiding. Already, first day, we've got an insane Sunset as the first map, and I can't wait to see more of SMG, and whatever strategies they might have in their back pocket.
And I can't wait to see more of Sunset as well. I mean,
Yeah,
like
that's true.
I
That's
told
true.
you earlier, right? I told you earlier, it's like, I feel like if we don't see Sunset today, we might not see it at all. So I guess we're seeing it for the rest of the week. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just
Manifest
saying. I'm just manifesting indeed. But that is the end for Team SMG and NYX Kyosei for now. We will move on to our second series of the day right after this very quick break. Don't go anywhere. VCT Game Changers, APAC Elite will be right back.
One enemy remaining.
Nailed him.
One enemy remaining. Spike down A.
Enemy kill.
Last player standing.
One down.
One enemy remaining. remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Spike down mid. 30 seconds left.
Got the money in the bank. Hit you with the bank. Hit you with the 808. Hit you with the 808. Bang to the break, bang to the break, bang to the break, bang, 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 bang. I'm a boss, and you know that I'm finna shine. Got the money in the bank. Got the money in the bank. Got the money in the bank, 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 bank. Got the money in the bank. Hit you with the 808.